This is going to test your patience. It's going to test your temper.
Drivers are all pursuing the grandfather clock.
Set here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Over the exit of turn number 2, one truck spins. Punching the ticket to Homestead.
Yeah! I love it! I love it! I love it!
No better place to go racing. The short track, the half mile at Martinsville for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. It's the opening race in round 2 of the playoffs. With Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch. And downstairs, our pit reporters will begin with Caitlin Vincey.
Well, Vince, one of these playoff drivers today could potentially punch their ticket to the season finale at Homestead. A year ago, that driver was Johnny Sauter. He won here at Martinsville Speedway, and that set off a chain of races that were really strong for this 21 team that brought them to the title in the Truck Series. I just checked in with driver and crew chief on pit road. They brought the same truck that they won with here at Martinsville a year ago, feeling really good about their chances. They start 4th. Hermie?
Well, Caitlin, John Hunter Nemechek qualified for the playoff round of 6 with some evasive driving in the final laps at Talladega. So he comes to Martinsville. He's going to do great at Martinsville, right? Look at the stats for John Hunter Nemechek at this racetrack. He is money. 8 starts, 3 top 10s, best finish of 2nd, top 3 in 3 of the last 4. But they qualified 17th. They'll have to dig out of that hole when they drop the green flag. Alan?
Hermie, Austin Cindric comes into this round on the bottom of the playoff standings. He did not have 2 good practices yesterday, but he found some speed in qualifying, and he'll roll off P6. His biggest obstacle is overcoming his history at this track. 2 career starts, 2 finishes outside the top 20. He needs to do better than that if he wants to stay in this title hunt. Guys?
As Alan mentioned, he rolls off 6th, and that's the average starting position of the winner here at Martinsville. So maybe Cindric's going off just in the right spot.
Absolutely.
We're about to find out. Let's take a look at our Camping World track description. Mike?
This is just an awesome little racetrack. The paperclip, it's called. The turns are banked at 12 degrees. I never could find one of those when I drove here. It felt flat to me. You could see the track is, both straightaways are 800 feet long, and those corners are sharp. Braking is as important here as accelerating is. A couple of tough issues when you try to get all that power to the ground.
Camping World race analysis.
You can see this race is 200 laps, 50 laps shorter than the spring race here, 105.2 miles. Stages are also shorter, 70 and 70 in the spring, 50-50 in the final stage, 100 laps here. You see that pit window somewhere between 140 and 150 laps. And Johnny Sauter won this race and went on to the championship last year.
That analysis, Phil, that sets it up for some crazy strategies like you talked about earlier. Varying and different strategies for all those crew chiefs on pit road.
See our starting lineup at the top of the screen. Chase Briscoe, the pole winner. The pole winner has won here 9 times before. Some of the onboard looks that we're going to have today give you some interesting perspectives.
Yeah, this is a JIGS.com onboard for Cody Kaufman. Cody had his best career finish just a couple of races ago at Las Vegas when he finished 6th. And he will start that JIGS Toyota from the 20th spot, and he'll have that visor cam that's so cool.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Let's hop up to the 15th position. That's a great view of Christopher Bell. He's going to start his Toyota. And how cool is it? In the middle of the pack, one of the fastest trucks all year long, and we're going to ride along with him as he battles to the front.
We're also going to talk right along with Austin Cindric, the Ford on board that Alan was just talking about. That's the Fitzgerald glider kits Ford for Brad Keselowski Racing. Austin will start this race from the 6th spot, and he'll have that bumper cam, and I hope we keep that thing for a while.
I think they're going to be hard-pressed to beat Johnny Sauter. The Wisconsin driver is going to start his ISM Connect Chevy from the 4th position. He'll be tough all day long, and we'll get to ride along with him.
Well, before we get the green flag, let's check in with some of the crew chiefs. Hermie?
Vince Mike Hillman Jr., first time on the box at KBM. Your driver, Harrison Burton, will try to be a spoiler today. What have you learned about your driver that thinks he can get the job done?
I think he was really, really consistent yesterday in practice. Hermie, our Deck 17 Tundra was really good, so we're going to do all we can to try to spoil this thing today.
That's it.
Hermie, Cody Glick is calling the shots for the 46 team. Do you feel like you got a truck that can play a playoff spoiler today?
Yeah, I think our pedigree Tundra is pretty good. We worked really hard in practice, and we feel like we got a good balance for the race.
All right, good luck to you. Alan?
Caitlin, it's the first race for Mason Diaz. He qualified 9th. Crew chief Adam Bremer, what can your young driver do today in the race?
I think he's going to take care of his equipment. He's got some experience here in the late model. I think he's going to do really well.
Have fun with it today.
But Vince, if I'm the spotter and if I'm the crew chief, I'm going to tell Mason Diaz we're going to tiptoe into turn 1. Watch this start. They have a tendency to really stack up back outside the top 10, right around where Diaz is starting. They could see some issues there because when you come up on that front straightaway, Phil, you're directly behind the trucks in front of you. There's no vision. You can't see if somebody stumbles. You got to be careful on the start.
Remember, cold tires, low air pressure too.
Is there a more difficult track than Martinsville?
For me, there isn't. I mean, to me, it just has a little bit of everything. It's like a road track, a road course, but these guys aren't road racers, many of them, so it means they're doing things they're not used to. Think of 700 horsepower, Vince, trying to squeeze it down as smoothly and as quickly as you can on this flat racetrack. It's very difficult.
And one of the more technical, probably the most technical tracks that we come to, and your footwork has to be spot on at this racetrack to make a good lap time.
Track position so important, really ramps up the significance of the pit stops as well. The spotters playing a key role, keeping their driver in a comfortable position and a safe spot. It's going to be tough. It's going to be fun. Chase Briscoe leading us to green. Round 2 of the playoffs underway. We're racing at Martinsville.
There's the contact I talked about. You can see, I think Diaz did his job. He was going to tiptoe on the start, but Stuart Friesen right behind him, he got into the back of the young driver.
See Matt Crafton trying to make his way around the outside. You can make some good time on the outside for a couple laps right after a start or a restart, but then you need to find the bottom.
Briscoe and Crafton side by side, and that's Ben Rhodes right behind him in third. Rhodes in the 4 short track races we've had this season has scored the fewest points amongst our championship contenders. We'll see what kind of day Rhodes has here today. Struggled a little bit back in April with a finish of 20th. Can't afford that kind of finish here today.
Saw Crafton try it for a couple laps, and he dove to the inside. See Johnny Sauter's mired up on the outside now to that 21 truck. Now he's going to duck in behind Truex.
Here's that great look from the front bumper of the 19 of Austin Cindric. We'll see how long that bumper cam stays in one piece.
ISM Connect. That doesn't mean Johnny Sauter wants Truex to connect with him. There you see Kaz Gralla making a block there on Burton as they dove down into turn 1. Looks like Burton has a faster truck than Kaz. How many times do you let a guy block you like that, Bill, before you have to push him out of the way?
About once.
You're not going to be any more patient than that. You're only going to give him once.
200 lap race, Vince. We got to go. 50 lap stages.
Those 50 laps go by quickly when you're running laps in 20 seconds, as you see John Hunter Nemechek with a little bump of Todd Gilliland to get under and make the pass.
That was a subtle bump is what that was. Very, very nice move by Nemechek.
And we talked about the sense of urgency. It's easy for those guys up front to know they've got to dig, but when you're in the back, look at that contact. You've really got to root and gouge. You've got to understand, like you said, Phil, short stages. I think Nemechek is going to be very aggressive today.
Well, if you get put up on the outside, it can cost you more than one spot.
It sure can. You have to find a place in line here. Great view from this bumper cam. You see Johnny Sauter's going to be able to make the pass on Gregson. Gregson's going to close the hole there and make sure that Cindric doesn't get there as well.
We saw the 16 of Truex go inside of the 18 truck, and not just Truex getting the spot, but Johnny Sauter was right there to take advantage as well. Chase Briscoe continues to lead from the pole, and there's Matt Crafton, a 2-time Martinsville winner and a 2-time series champ, right on his tail.
I thought when Crafton was able to hang so good on the high side with our pole sitter Chase Briscoe that he had a better truck. Maybe his truck's a little bit stronger early in the going. So what happens here at Martinsville, the trucks will change. Some trucks are better for 10 or 15 laps. Others, they come in at 25, 30, or 40. So Briscoe's just trying to hold his own, hoping that his truck comes in as the tires warm up.
Christopher Bell, the #1 seed in our playoff leaderboard, qualified 15th today. That was a big story. He's up 3 spots to 12th, Hermie.
Yeah, Vince, we were all surprised. The team very disappointed with that qualifying effort. Gets a spot on the 98. But one thing that Ryan Fugel, Rudy Fugel, the crew chief, has been telling Christopher Bell since the drop of the green flag, protect the nose of your truck. If you bash the nose in, nothing good will happen. You got radiator cooling, brake cooling. He has stressed you cannot bang up the nose of this truck. Caitlin.
Well, Hermie, Ben Rhodes in that 27 truck, talking with his crew chief, Eddie Traconis, earlier today, he said the strategy for them, they've got a lot to lose, so they need to be smart, not make mistakes. They said, we would have run up front all day, save those brakes and not get jammed up in the middle of the pack in someone else's mess. That's the plan for the 27. They're holding down that third spot currently, guys.
And how about that on both what Hermie and Caitlin reporting? There's urgency to go because the first stage is only 50 laps and you want to get those stage points. But at the same time, you got to have the big picture in perspective, particularly if you're one of these championship contenders.
Yeah, and I think for the guys that we talked about that started outside the top 10, Christopher Bell, John Hunter Nemechek, they were hoping to get somewhere up close to the top 10 or in the top 10. They would love to maybe grab a couple 3 stage points anyway, because that's our stage racing has changed the way we race this race. There's no question. I think these guys without the stages would have a certain strategy, and I think it's going to be different because of the stages.
No doubt, Phil. And we talked at Talladega how things were going to be set on go from the green flag. No laying back. You had to get it done in a hurry. Same as the case here at this small track in Virginia.
Well, the 29's been in a hurry. Started on pole and has led them all so far. Chase Briscoe out front. Back at Martinsville, the opening race in round 2 of the playoffs. The leader, the 29 of Chase Briscoe, getting into some lap traffic now. So the leader for the first time dealing with some traffic in front of him. Caitlin.
Yeah, well, talking with Chase Briscoe before this race, he said now that we're no longer in the playoffs, we can afford to be a little more aggressive. We're no longer worried about points. He said, too, with Brad Keselowski Racing shutting down at the end of this year, he says, I need to win as many races as possible. It's a lot easier to find a job when you are winning races. So that will be the goal for him all throughout the rest of this season, Alan.
Johnny Sauter is running laps faster than the 3 trucks in front of him, but he's complaining about it being tight. The team is reminding him that the pressure is low in the tires, probably the lowest it's been all weekend, so the truck seems to be improving. Johnny wants to get rid of that tight condition, but he is fast, and that's what counts.
Those leaders did a nice job working that lap traffic, didn't they, Vince? It looked like Matt Crafton took them 3 wide. Looked like he was going to have a chance to get the move on Briscoe. Briscoe did a nice job, held his line, and held the lead. I think something interesting for me, Phil, I think the 88's been better than the 29. Matt Crafton better than our leader, Briscoe, since the start. But I think Crafton's starting to fade a little bit. He just seemed to have the heat all over Briscoe in the first 10, 15 laps. And now that's changing, and you can see it's brought Ben Rhodes and Johnny Sauter into the mix as well.
And that traffic did as well. But remember, you don't get a playoff point for winning this stage anymore, because we're going to go to Homestead and then we're going to wash the slate clean. But you do get 10 points to win that stage. But the difference between 10 and 9 isn't as big as it used to be when the playoff point was on the line.
Well, here's the other deal. This is huge for Ben Rhodes. He needs those points. He wants to get those points so that he gets him a bit of a cushion. He doesn't have anything to breathe on right now.
Yeah, he's 1 point below the cut line coming into this race.
There's a look at Christopher Bell in that 4. We documented the struggle that they had in qualifying. And then this issue, watch, the spring rubber comes out of the right rear, I presume, on that 4. What kind of impact might that have?
Well, that could be in the right rear spring, and that will make that truck a little tighter if it was in the spring. But a lot of the times, the teams will hang that rubber. They're near the spring, so the tire changer can just reach in and poke it in the spring if they need that adjustment. So it either was in the right rear spring, and that may make that truck a little tighter, or they won't have that option to put it in the spring, and if the truck is a little bit too tight.
There's Johnny Sauter heating up the back end of Ben Rhodes for 3rd. Are you surprised Bell hasn't moved up a little bit more? He started 15th. He's at 11th.
A bit surprised, but it's so tough here, Vince. Traffic is so difficult to negotiate. And think about what these drivers' instructions are from their crew chiefs. Don't tear the nose off the thing. Make sure you take care of it. He's got enough of a cushion where he's the only one in the playoffs, Phil, that can be patient. He can take his time a bit, work his way to the front, and then lean on Rudy Fugle for that strategy that might make a difference.
The 99 of Cale Gale is the truck that's running in front of him. That's him going to the left side of your screen. Before we went away to commercial break, Christopher Bell was right on the rear tailgate of Christopher Gale. He may have lost a little bit of ground in some lap traffic.
Back up front, you see Chase Briscoe. He has led all 30 of the laps so far. Looking for his first career win. He's off to a good start here at Martinsville. Major development here at Martinsville. One of our championship contenders, John Hunter Nemechek, and heavy damage.
Well, that's just about as hard as you can hit the wall here at Martinsville. Trying to get that truck turned around. Remember how much damage he had at Talladega. Our last race.
Rear bumper's knocked down. It's coming through.
He's out. I mean, they'll just go to the garage. They might come to pit road, but it's a
look how bad the rear end's been. How that
it's hanging out.
Yeah, it has gone from bad to worse for John Hunter Nemechek, qualifying 17th, and then trying to make his way up through the field. It only gained a spot, was running 16th, and then this major blow to his championship hopes.
There's no one around him.
That has the looks of maybe a throttle hanging, or
look more like a wheel hop to me, or perhaps
a
brake issue. I don't see any way that, well, maybe I feel like he just maybe had a brake issue. And wow, heavy contact here at Martinsville.
I'll be interested to hear John Hunter's comments about what happened in that situation. And you see the damage. They are going. Yeah, they are going behind the wall, and that damage is so significant. I mean, this got to be the end of his day, I would think, Hermie.
Yeah, you can see it. The tremendous damage to the entire back end of that truck. A lot of frustration, as you can tell, from John Hunter Nemechek. Pulled down pit road, and crew chief Jerry Cannon said, we have to go behind the wall. So they'll go assess it. We'll keep you updated, but a big blow to the championship hopes of John Hunter Nemechek.
Well, and you see what John Hunter has done through the playoffs, and there is the damage. And he was so optimistic. They had run so well here in the past. Runner-up, a couple of third-place finishes, and we've got our race leader, Chase Briscoe, is coming to pit road.
You talked about possibly a one-stop strategy, Phil. You think that's what Briscoe's thinking?
Some of the guys told me they thought they could make it 160 laps, and that's about exactly where we are right now.
He's not worried one bit about a stage point. He's worried about winning this race.
Exactly.
But then some of the guys that are in the back, Hermie Saddle, like Christopher Bell, they're coming now as well.
This truck is not very good. Obviously, Michael, he chatters the front tires through the center, chatters the rear tires on exit, so it'll be 4 tires and fuel for the Ford. Caitlin.
Well, looking at the 29 truck, Chase Briscoe, he's pretty happy with it. Just says it's about 1.5 too tight. They're going to go ahead and make an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires as well for the 29.
Well, and some stayed out on track, obviously, and I think that plays right in, Phil, into what you talked about pre-race. About 18 different strategies out there that these crew chiefs are thinking about, and you really have to adjust depending on where the yellows fall.
That's exactly right, and as Michael said, Chase Briscoe they don't care anything about points right now. All they care about is getting that win at the end of the race, and I think this is what Buddy Cisco thought their best chance would be, is come in now, do the pit work. He has the option of coming in later, and he can come in later when all the other guys do and only do fuel only and still beat them off pit road. So I think it's a great call.
Or possibly 2 tires. That'll give him an advantage over those guys there as well.
Of course, Briscoe doesn't have to worry about points because he's no longer in the championship hunt. He just wants to win. Just back to green at Martinsville, where Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter battling for the top spot, and it's going to be Crafton grabbing the point with just 6 to go here in stage 1, following the yellow brought out by the accident involving John Hunter Nemechek.
That needed to be a perfect restart for that front row, and it turned out to be just that. They got the track position they needed. I look for them to drive away from Ben Rhodes. Rhodes needs those stage points desperately. If he can hold on to 3rd, this will be a successful stage for him as well.
Austin Cindric trying to get inside of Mason Diaz there. Cindric is in the 6th spot.
So many people follow Chase Briscoe down pit road. Chase is back up into the top 10 already on this restart.
How about this view? Wow. Love this from Austin Cindric's bumper.
Oh.
A little contact with the 86 of Diaz, making his first career start here in the Truck Series.
Battle for the 6th spot.
I love when you're racing along, Vince, if you're Austin Cindric in the battle for the championship. Who's in 86? Who is this kid, and why is he going so fast? And what a great job it's been today for that kid.
And if you're Mason Diaz in your very first race, can't you just say, hey, will you stop banging into me? It's my first race. Look at this. This is not going to work. 3 wide in the corner. Can they come through? They do. Diaz loses the spot. Rala inside of Cindric.
And look who's there to take advantage of it. Chase Briscoe, Harrison Burton. All these trucks racing inside the top 10.
Coming to 1 to go here in stage 1 as Matt Crafton leads Johnny Sauter with Ben Rhodes right behind him in 3rd. All 3 championship contenders. Crafton and Sauter between them have 5 wins here at Martinsville.
Yeah, a lot of points for these guys right here if they hold that line. 10, 9, and 8 for the 88, 21, and 27.
That's huge.
Green checker right here. Green checker. Real good work.
Matt Crafton, the Stage 1 winner.
Christopher Bell will be our only driver not in the playoffs not to get any stage points.
He and John Hunter Nemechek after Nemechek crashed out. Matt Crafton takes care of business. Stage 1 winner at Martinsville. Matt Crafton with his 3rd stage win of the season. Stage 1 complete here at Martinsville. Alan Cabana.
4 tires and a track bar adjustment for Austin Cindric. They contemplated going 2, but they said everyone else behind them took 4, so we have to take 4 now. Caitlin?
Well, the 27 of Ben Rhodes deliberated a little bit whether or not to come to pit road, but they said, I think if we don't come for tires, we'll drop like a rock. They're going to do air pressure fuel 4 tires for the 27.
A lot of decision making going on between the drivers and the crew chiefs.
How about all over the board, just like Phil predicted?
Let's see if we can talk to Matt Crafton, our leader, who stayed out. Hey, Matt Crafton, Phil Parsons and the boys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy? Matt Crafton, you got a copy?
Matt, go to the other side if they want to talk to you, if you want to talk to them.
I hope he wants to talk to us. You got us, Matt? Have you switched over to this channel?
Are you here, Matt? Yes, sir. Got you.
Hey, Matt, Phil Parsons and the boys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, we heard during a commercial break, we heard the debate that you and Junior were talking about whether to stay out, whether to come in, but obviously you guys decided to stay out. But truck's pretty good right now and got a lot of points there in that first stage.
Yeah, that's what we're all about right here. The first 2 segments, we got to stage point this deal and put ourselves in position at the end of this deal to be able to have a shot to get another grandfather clock.
All right, buddy. Looks good so far. Keep it going.
Thanks, sir.
We'll do a little strategy recap when we come back. What you need to know, Matt Crafton stays out front.
Last round, John Hunter Nemechek dug a hole, dug yourself out of it. You'll have to do it again. You're out at Martinsville. What happened?
No brake pedal. I don't know. It didn't give any warning. It never got squishy. We were just kind of riding around, biding our time there, and I dove into one normal and hit the brake pedal and then went straight to the floor. So sucks for our guys, sucks for fire alarm services. We had a fast truck and race trim. I felt like we had a contending winning truck if we could have got some track position, but it was early on. It definitely sucks to be able to race this early, but we dug ourselves out of one hole in the first round, so hopefully they won't know what hit them next week in Texas.
Vince?
Well, certainly a lot of work to be done, but as John Hunter mentioned, Texas next week, Phoenix the following week, probably going to have to win one of those races if he's to make it onto the Final 4 at Homestead Miami Speedway. Stage 2 underway with Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter out front. Crafton, Sauter, and Noah Gregson, the 3 in front of the pack that have not pitted.
How about Johnny gets that gap between Crafton and Gregson, gets back down to the bottom. Look at Christopher Bell hung on the outside.
Oh, he gets squeezed up to the wall by Stuart Friesen, kept his foot in it, trying to make that pass on the high side.
It's tough to be outside there because you lose that track position, but he's going to get out in front of Friesen and get down. That's a key move there for Christopher Bell, right behind Justin Haley at 24.
And it looks like he's faster than Haley. Maybe makes a dive on him down in turn 1. I like when I see this from a driver, Phil. Just swings out a little bit on entry when he doesn't have anybody hounding him from behind. Helps with the angle as he gets ready to exit. Maybe a strong run off, and he can make that pass.
Really roll through that center well because you have the truck pointed quicker.
Good move there for the 46 of Todd Gilliland to come in, make the pass. As you see our stage points from stage 1. Of course, Christopher Bell missing there, our championship point leader.
And the reason why he's missing is strategy. They gave up that first stage to try to go get this victory, and we'll see how that plays out. Look how much faster Sauter is. That truck is right today.
Johnny Sauter won this race a year ago. Crew Chief Joe Shear Jr. said if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They brought the same piece back this year.
Well, Crafton was talking on the radio about how concerned he was with these old tires, but so far, so good. Great call for Junior Joyner to leave him out there. It does, however, look like Sauter's got a better truck now. But they've gapped 4th place Chase Briscoe, and Briscoe's got those fresher tires.
I think right now, if we see a caution right now, I think, I'm not sure about Junior Joyner, but I think Joe Shear will bring Johnny Sauter onto pit road right now if we get a caution like any time in the next few laps, even before the end of that 2nd stage, and that'll be as one and done for the day on pit road.
Yeah, you can't make it on one stop. Some teams are obviously going to try it on
Look at the damage on Crafton's quarter panel where Johnny got into him.
Sauter is heating him up.
It's those varying strategies that we talked about. If you're really going to either have to give up stage 1 or give up stage 2, because you're not probably going to win stage 1 and stage 2 and then be in position to win the race for sure.
Yeah, I think it's almost impossible unless Matt Crafton was to stay on the racetrack and be able to hold these guys off. I think it's almost impossible. Here's the contact right here between Johnny and Matt.
Matt, I'm here, and I want to let you know.
Just a little love tap is all that was right there.
And you know, at some racetracks, Phil, that damage would hurt the performance of that 88 truck, but not here at Martinsville. Aerodynamics aren't the key factor. It's how you use those brakes and that gas pedal and that truck, how it turns through the center. That's the key to success here.
Well, Sauter and Crafton certainly no strangers to one another in regards to a rivalry through the years. Two of the most decorated drivers in this series.
Oh, turns him sideways and another push.
Crafton still trying to hang on to that lead, and here comes Sauter, and now the 18 of Noah Gragson says, I've waited long enough on you guys.
And when John, now he's on the inside of Johnny. Johnny doesn't want that for sure. Johnny is wearing out that rear bumper on that 88 truck.
Now Sauter inside of Crafton. Can he make that position stick?
I think he can, but Crafton's not going to make it easy on him. Trying to squeeze Johnny Sauter down, but Johnny's just so much better right now. What about Noah Gragson, the kid, watching these two grizzled veterans get up there and battle for the lead, and they're not being gentle on one another.
Not at all, and he's on the same tire strategy as them, has not been to pit road yet.
Side by side for the lead. Remember, Sauter and Crafton, both championship contenders. Gragson is not. Gragson hoping to be in position later in the day to score his first career win.
Matt gets Johnny off his bumper, hopes to just run a couple of solid laps, give himself a gap over Gragson, and finish this stage in second. He will call it a success.
Absolutely.
But it's so hard to be smooth and make your truck go fast when you've got somebody hounding you like Sauter was. It'll be interesting to watch and see if the 88 can get away from the 18.
About halfway through stage 2, we're going to commercial break, but you won't miss a lap. Stay with us here on FS1.
After winning it all last year, we know we have a target on our back.
Johnny Sauter with his first ever NASCAR championship.
This is the 2017 NASCAR playoffs, and it only gets harder from here.
Trouble turn 4.
16 drivers have been traveling along this perilous path. Long and winding, filled with the unknown.
3 cars now, 4 cars.
And after this road to ruin,
Big wreck, wow.
only one deserves to call themselves champion. The 2017 NASCAR playoffs.
Connect to nature. Connect to excitement. There is nothing like the great outdoors. Getting together with close friends, relaxing, and enjoying each other's company. So what are you waiting for? Get on the road today with Camping World. Now is your time to make new memories. America's #1 RV dealer can get you started with 2018 travel trailers for only $114 a month during the year-end savings event. Visit your local Camping World Supercenter or shop campingworld.com today.
Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Don't stop me. Having a good time. Don't stop me. Yes, I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
The all-new 2018 Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
First, it's a 5-letter place where a million things are at stake. It's the spot where the target on your back is biggest. But it's the only position you want to be in. In these playoffs, if at first you don't succeed, you just drive like hell till you do. For NASCAR playoff updates, down to the lap information, and more NASCAR news, visit nascar.com/playoffs on any device today.
You've been watching it. Johnny Sauter continuing to lead and opened up a little bit of a gap on second place. Matt Crafton with Noah Gragson right there in third. About the 4 KBM trucks all in the top 7. A strong run from that group with Gragson in third and Harrison Burton in fifth. Christopher Bell 6th, Todd Gilliland 7th.
There can't be 3 distinctively more different racetracks in all of NASCAR. Talladega, Eldora, and Martinsville. And every time I look up, it looks like either one of those could be the case. 2, 3, even 4 wide ones here today. Crazy racing.
This is a major scrum right here. We were watching this during a commercial break. Saw Kaz Gralla was able to get by the 27 of Ben Rhodes, riding along down the jegs on board of Cody Coughlin.
Look at that back bumper on Rhodes' truck. They've been all over him. It's bent in.
He's all the way back right now in the 17th position for Ben Rhodes.
Remember, they've all stopped for tires except the top 3, Sauter, Crafton, and Gragson. They have yet to come to pit road. Kaz Gralla included in that group as well, but he's back in 15th.
He's got a good truck, though, Vince. He's pulled up past Ty Dillon and racing toward the top 10. So.
And Ben Rhodes as well.
Another good rally for Todd Gilliland. Remember, early in the race, he was just inside the top 20. Now he finds himself racing up inside the top 10.
Let's take a listen in how the team's helping the drivers worry less. Coverage brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Back your entry up just a fuzz into 1 here. Don't overdrive her in. Still 2 bites, half straight. I know it's frustrating. Just all drive off. All free roll, all drive off. If you have to give up a fuzz entry, that's what we got to do.
Christopher Bell and his team communicating. And Rudy Fugle told me earlier in the weekend that last year, or in the spring rather, when Bell finished third, they were very good on the drive off, but they couldn't roll the center the way they needed to, and he thought that would be a difference maker today if they were able to roll the center. Doesn't sound like they've got it fixed.
And that's what they were talking about, back up the entry so you could free roll through the center of the corner. Good battle here. This is Austin Cindric. He's all the way back in the 20th spot right now. Mason Diaz right behind him in that 86 truck.
What a solid first stage he had, though. We thought he had a truck he could contend with. He's lost his track position, Alan Cabana, and it's not looking so hot for the 19 right now.
No, remember, they came into the pits and they actually put 3-lap-old scuffs on, thinking it would improve their situation, but he has been mired back in the pack. You can see him, he's been battling for a long time with that 86 truck with Mason Diaz, just not making up any ground on those tires.
Couple of KBM trucks right there with Christopher Bell getting around Harrison Burton for 5th. Another KBM machine, that 46 of Todd Gilliland right there.
As a former race team owner, I know how nervous Kyle Busch is right now. Those, here at Martinsville, 3 trucks racing nose to tail. That gets a little bit antsy for the owner. Check out Matt Crafton. I talked about give me just 2 or 3 laps without somebody hounding my tailgate, and I think I can get away from him. And that's exactly what he's been able to do. Drove away from Noah Gragson. His lap times have improved. He's just as fast right now as leader Johnny Sauter. His truck just didn't go good on that initial start, and it lost him the lead, but he was able to hold on and hold off the 18 of Gragson.
Only 10 laps to go in this second stage. Johnny Sauter's opened up a 2 3/4 second lead right now over this second place truck of Matt Crafton. There's Johnny right there running all by himself. A few lap trucks in between he and the second place Matt Crafton.
Sauter, Crafton, and Gragson haven't come to pit road, but I got to believe if we don't get a yellow before the end of stage 2, they got to come at the end of the second stage.
Oh, I think they definitely are going to come. I think Joe Shear would like to have had a caution even before the end of stage 2 to come to pit road to try to get in front, jump in front of all those guys that would have pitted at the end of stage 2.
But he's played this strategy perfectly, Phil. Johnny Sauter's got the fastest truck. He's going to run 100 laps on these tires. He's going to put a set on and do it all over again. Johnny Sauter's definitely in the catbird seat right now.
Ty Dillon getting into the back end of Jeff Burton and moving Burton aside.
I think he returned the favor. Just the opposite there, coming off of turn 4.
That's the way you got to do it here. Sometimes you got to get into the back end and let them know. Usually give them a warning tap or two, maybe, and then the patience wears out, and you got to move them.
That 83 truck right behind Jeb Burton. That's Landon Huffman having another solid run. Had a solid run Bristol in his debut with a top 20. Running up here in the lead lap right now in the top 20 as well. How about Christopher Bell? Looks to the inside of Chase Briscoe.
This is for 4th. Remember, Briscoe started on pole. Bell struggled in qualifying and started 15th.
Remember, Bell was hard on himself after qualifying, said, I didn't do my job, I didn't get it done. Well, Martinsville's a lot about timing. The dirt racing tricks that he pulls on the big truck sideways and the way he's able to drive that truck, that doesn't really pay off here at Martinsville. So I think they have a tendency to struggle a bit when you have to have all that grip and drive straight up off the corner. Bell's proven that when you do something repeatedly, just gets that rhythm, he can get the job done.
Got by the 1 of Jordan Anderson and the 50 of Bailey Curry. Curry making his first career start here in the Truck Series.
Harrison Burton, Todd Gilliland, the other 2 KBM trucks there solidly up in the top 10 right now.
What about this move? Gilliland's going to try to make it work on the high side?
But maybe he could jump to the outside and maybe pin Harrison behind the lap truck that they're coming up on.
Going to talk a lot about these 2 drivers in the years to come. NASCAR fans, the 51 of Harrison Burton and the 46 of Todd Gilliland. What bright futures they have, both just 17 years old.
Probably decades we'll be talking about them.
Just a couple of laps to go here in this second stage. Pits are closed. Johnny Sauter continues to lead.
This couldn't have gone better for Sauter. The strategy is perfect. He's going to hopefully, no issues, win this stage.
Doesn't look like he has much damage to the nose where he wore out the left rear quarter panel and rear bumper of the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Sauter through stage 2, or through turn 2, I should say, and is about to take the green and white checkered as the winner of stage 2, and it will be his 8th stage win of the season. Johnny Sauter does it at Martinsville, and now he's got a little work to do in the final 100 laps.
Boy, our veterans ended up with a lot of stage points in the first 2 stages today. Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, both with 19 stage points.
So Crafton wins stage 1, Sauter wins stage 2. The defending series champ, Johnny Sauter. He won this race a year ago. Can he go back to back? Two stages complete here at Martinsville, and look at the points accumulated so far for our championship contenders highlighted there in yellow. Austin Cindric has accumulated 4 stage points as well. John Hunter Nemechek, 0. He crashed out early in this race. Well, here comes Sauter and Matt Crafton along with Noah Gregson. They're all making their first pit stops of the day, and they're bringing some company with them. Alan Cavana is there to catch Noah Gregson.
A lot of coaching on the radio for the 18, the rookie of Noah Gregson. He'll get 4 fresh tires and hope to maintain some of that track position and speed that he had out there. Also, same for Johnny Sauter, our leader. He says it's a little snug when he goes into the corners, but he's got that speed and 4 fresh tires. See what he can do with it out on the track.
Christopher Bell is down and away. It was 2 right side tires and a track bar adjustment for the 4. Caitlin.
Well, Matt Crafton is in finally. A different tire strategy for him earlier in the race. 4 tires. Chase Briscoe, the 29, saying he's too tight through the center. They're going to do a track bar and 4 tires as well. Slow stop for the 29 guys.
Yeah, definitely on the left rear there. I don't know what went wrong, but definitely a slow stop for the 29. Lost 3 spots.
Johnny Sauter had trouble on pit road too. Looked like had an issue with the front.
We'll see if we can get a word with Johnny after winning that stage. Hey, Johnny Sauter, Michael Waltrip and the boys up in the FS1 booth. Do you copy?
Yep.
It's been about a perfect day so far. A fast truck. You've driven it perfectly. Have you got what it takes under you to win this race? Did you make an adjustment there, or are you all set?
We made a quick adjustment. We just lost a little track position there, so we're going to have to fight to get it back. I don't know. Guys of GMS done a great job. Proud of everybody, and we just got to race our asses off here and see if we can get back up there, I guess.
You got it, bro. Go get them. Thank you.
Hear a little bit of the frustration, in the voice of Johnny Sauter as he came in as the leader, and they lost several positions because of this pit stop.
I was a little bit nervous about going down there, Phil, and talking to Johnny. He handled it really well, though.
Can't wait till later tonight. The World Series continues on Fox. The Astros up 2-1 on the Dodgers. Can the Dodgers even it up, or does Houston take a commanding lead? We're going to find out. Game 4 of the World Series tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. See it on Fox. Also streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
You know, Vince, I said earlier Sauter was in the catbird seat. I don't really know for sure what that is, but I know it's good. And he lost the catbird seat to probably Christopher Bell. We saw a lot of speed from Bell. They used some strategy to get up front.
2 tires though, Mike.
I know, but I like that truck right now. Crafton doesn't seem to fire off well, but an adjustment can fix all that. Junior Joynier's crew chief is one of the masters down on pit road at making adjustments.
Rudy told me they had 90 laps on their left sides yesterday. Nowhere.
The third and final stage. We're going to lap 200, and Christopher Bell leads them to green. Back racing at Martinsville. Truex on the outside of the 16, and Matt Crafton sticking his nose in there, trying to grab second.
We'll see if Christopher Bell can hold off these guys with 4 tires for a while. Then it may stabilize. We got 3 of the trucks running up front. That took 2 tires on that pit stop.
Well, remember in that second stage, Chase Briscoe had those fresh tires and he couldn't close in on the leaders. So Goodyear has done an amazing job building a tire for these trucks that they can have and use the strategy around to try to gain track position and keep it.
There's the 27 of Ben Rhodes, one of those trucks that took 2 tires. The 4 of Bell, the 16 of Truex, the 27 of Rhodes, all took 2 as you ride on board with the 21 of Johnny Sauter. His team took 4, but he wasn't very happy about how long it took to do it, as we heard from his conversation with Michael. But he came in with the lead. He lost a handful of positions, and we talked about that in the open. You got to be perfect here in just about every facet, including on pit road.
Yeah, 19-second pit stop lost him about 6 positions. He more than likely would have got beaten out by the guys that took 2 tires anyway, but all the way back to the 7th spot on the restart.
Well, he's got 100 laps. We haven't had a whole lot of cautions today. I will tell you at home, if you're watching, as the laps wind down, the intensity heats up. I know you might say, how could it, Mike? They're running 2 and 3 wide here at Martinsville. Look at that gaggle off turn 4. It's because you just don't take anymore. You don't let someone cut you off. You make sure you're on attack from here to the finish.
Normally, this is a give-and-take racetrack, and like you say, you get towards the end, it's all take on everybody's part.
And you know, any lap you could about spin someone out. You just have to figure out if it's worth it or not. Is it worth bumping that guy? Because if I knock him out of the way, what's he going to do to me when he retaliates?
Already been a disastrous race for one of our championship contenders, John Hunter Nemechek. Lost his brakes early, hard contact with the wall. He's done. Austin Cindric runs 13th. He's the furthest back of our championship contenders that's still in the mix. And then you've got the other 4 who are in the top 7.
I talked about this Goodyear tire and how great it holds up for the trucks. Look how it's putting rubber down up on top. Kaz Gralla was able to hang in outside of Todd Gilliland there. Gralla in that 33 truck for several laps because the groove is really widening out nicely.
There's that bumper cam from Austin Cindric's Brad Keselowski Ford following this side-by-side battle. Right now, Austin's in this 13th position.
The 24 of Justin Haley on the left, the 33 of Kaz Gralla on the right, just ahead of Cindric. We talk so often about no place to go. I mean, look at what Cindric's looking at right there. I mean, you have no choice but to run around behind him.
Without a doubt, but you want to keep the 98 of Grant Enfinger behind you. That's the guy running behind Austin Cindric.
Gralla's doing a great job up on the high side trying to grab that spot. They lost their track position after stage 1 when he got a commitment violation to pit road, trying to battle back just outside the top 10.
He was headed to pit road, tried to stay out at the last second, but he got his left sides on the commitment line. That's what put him behind.
Todd Gilliland getting inside of Stuart Friesen. That's for 9th.
Oh, Johnny Sauter gets into the side of Rhodes.
Also the 51 of Burton into the side of Truex in that 16.
Got to be careful on that right front tire. When Johnny was leaning on him with that right front tire, I still see the letters on it, so that's probably a good sign as he gets by Rhodes.
That was
around down goes Christopher Bell. And the caution is out after contact with the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Christopher gets it refired. Will stay on the lead lap.
Watch the curve here.
Bell, our championship leader, coming into this opening race of the second round.
He gets it refired, pointed in the right direction. He will stay on the lead lap. These guys have another set of tires in the pits. They had 4 sets of tires for this race.
I'd get them right now. You can't wait any longer after that spin.
Yeah, we only have 78 laps to go right now. It'll be 3 or 4 laps under caution.
Check this out. Matt Crafton was on the bottom, and those two make contact. It looked like Crafton had begun to heat up. Bell, did Crafton catch the curb there and slide up the track?
Looked like he did. He was about 3 or 4 feet extra up, higher than he probably could have been next to the curb. Let's watch it again here. See if he hits that curb.
No, he just pushed up.
Curb, just pushed up. But we're only talking about, what, 2 feet maybe?
How about from the view of Crafton?
You see, Crafton's all over Bell. He'd really run him down, dives inside. And Christopher gave him room. I mean, Matt just overshot the corner a bit. Christopher Bell moved up. He knew at that point that Crafton was faster, but he still got spun out.
So Bell is going to go from the lead deep into the field.
Yeah, 23 trucks on the lead lap right now, Vince. We'll have just over 70 laps to go when we restart this race.
It was a pretty solid first round of the playoffs for Christopher Bell.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't
first
bad.
2 seconds. What are they talking about down there in that 4 pit as Bell comes in, Hermie?
Vince, they've been remarkably calm on the radio as far as Rudy Fugel. Christopher Bell has not said a word, but obviously on pit road, no adjustments, but they will put 4 sticker tires and some fuel in this Ford truck. He'll have four field goods, Vince, but he'll have a long way to go to salvage the top 10.
That's for sure.
I think Kermie, he'll get back to the top 10. He's really got that truck hooked up. How far he can get inside that top 10 is another question.
Going to be less than 75 to go when we come back to Martinsville. Welcome back to Martinsville, getting ready to go back green. The caution brought out by the contact between Matt Crafton and Christopher Bell. They were at the front of the pack. Bell was the leader and ended up getting spun. Tough job on those spotters, that's for sure. It's a tough place to get it done. These drivers that have nowhere to go, no real place to hide. Liberty Mutual spotter coverage helping those drivers know where to go on this restart as we get ready to go with about 71 left here at Martinsville.
See if you folks at home this makes you worry less.
Good, keep up. Still inside. Clear. Clear about 2. Clear about half. Half back 18. Clear about 3 now. Your beer. 70 more. 70.
Jason Hedleski, the spotter for Matt Crafton, getting his driver through that restart. You heard him say 70 to go, and 70 laps goes by pretty quick under green here at Martinsville when you're turning laps in 20 seconds.
As a racer, the thing I liked what he said the most, clear by 2. Give me that all day long.
I heard the same thing. You see Johnny Sauter now has pulled up into the 4th spot. He was 7th after his pit stop. He gained a couple spots during that action prior to the spin by Christopher Bell. One of those spots being Christopher Bell. Now he's up to the 4th spot.
Remember, Sauter led 33 laps earlier, and then he came to pit road, and they had some issues on pit road, and a lot of contact. Ty Dillon in the 87, the 24 of Justin Haley.
And Chase Briscoe's going to be able to emerge in front of these guys. What a battle here.
View from the front bumper of Austin Cindric.
Good run off the corner by Cindric. Look at that. Truck compressed down into the corner. Cindric takes that spot away.
For 12th. Back to Briscoe. Chase Briscoe leading into the top 10, moving into the top 10 just ahead of Rhodes. You saw Christopher Bell. He's back in 14th.
I like this Bell truck. I know how fast he is, those fresh tires. Can he get all the way back to the top 5 and maybe win this race? Watch this move.
Everybody just dives down to the bottom. They get seized up there, and he just drives around 2 or 3 trucks while we were watching that 3-wide battle in front of him.
Bell says, I've got a fast truck with some tires on it, fresh tires, I'm going. Even if it's got to be around the outside.
Still has 64 laps to go here. A long way for Christopher Bell.
I think Bell can get there. A lot of traffic. We talked about the fact that the caution flag is probably going to fall again, and he could use those cautions to gain that track position back.
Stuart Friesen in that 52 truck running 7th.
Gralla, after that pit road penalty, has made his way up to 8th. Great recovery for the kid from Massachusetts.
Saw him pull over to the inside the block at 16 of Truex, and oh, Chase Briscoe is around.
Our pole winner, Chase Briscoe, led 39 laps at the start of the race. Contact into the wall, running from the 11th position.
Hang on, looping around now, come on.
Left rear tire is down on that Ford.
That probably means contact from the right front of another truck.
Yeah, maybe the 24 of Justin Haley. They were battling for about the 10th spot back there.
Heavy damage.
I remember this earlier. Watch the 29 on the outside. They all get squeezed together.
Sees damage. Contact to the left rear of the 29.
That's Ben Rhodes, the 27, just inside of him in that instance. And then this is what happened. Oh, the 24 of Justin Haley giving him a
with nudge. Would you call that a nudge?
I'd say that was a little more than a nudge.
I was thinking he clobbered him. But in Haley's defense, he was getting
87 of Ty Dillon.
Yep. He was getting pushed into the corner by Ty Dillon, and that's one of those cases where you say, buddy, that wasn't my fault.
What do you mean? You hit me.
So Dillon hit Haley, and Haley hit Briscoe, and Briscoe hit the wall.
He's the only one that didn't hit anybody, and he hit the wall. That's the way the sport works.
That's what happens, short track racing. The first win of his Truck Series career, Chase Briscoe was chasing it from the pole today, not likely to come.
That was the damage they were talking about. They want to drop a jack, drop something on that left front to get it to bend back up on the splitter.
Back it up, let's go. Come on, hurry up, put tire back on it, we gotta go.
It's Buddy Cisco, the crew chief, on that 29.
Eliminated from the championship battle, Briscoe was set on the pole, and you could hear the fire and the intensity still in that team. We're damaged, but we're not quitting, we're not giving up. We're gonna go out there and get all we can.
Cale Gale on pit road, as is Ryan Truex.
Ryan Truex, the 16 truck, was the highest placed truck when the caution came out to come down pit road. He was running in the 8th spot.
Hey, check out race day tomorrow here on FS1. One of the most sought-after trophies in NASCAR, the Martinsville Grandfather Clock. Special feature on race day tomorrow. The first clock given out in 1964 here in Martinsville. Who has that clock today? What's the story behind it? That first clock given out in 64. Who has it today?
Am I supposed to spoil it?
Guess.
I think I know.
You know? I would. I think I have a pretty good guess.
You go first.
Freddie Lorenzo.
Well, he's the one that won it.
Yeah.
But does he still have it?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Does Ken Reagan have it? Is it in Georgia?
We're going to find out when we watch NASCAR race day tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock Eastern, right here on FS1. More work being done on that 29 of Chase Briscoe.
Chase is already 1 lap down. Try to finish his pit work and keep him going a 2nd lap down. Remember, the pole sitter got the first pit stall, which is pit number 2 here at Martinsville, so he has a while before the pace truck gets around there to him.
There he goes.
You see those trucks up front, the 88 of Matt Crafton, the 18 of Noah Gregson. Here's our playoff leaderboard and the points as they run. Crafton obviously the leader. Sauter, Bell, and Ben Rhodes all above that cut line, and Austin Cindric currently finds himself in the 9th spot, and John Hunter Nemechek with a big hit, no pun intended, of that accident earlier today.
Yeah. Cindric is keeping himself in the game, Phil. He always seems to do that, gets better and gets the most out of that truck as the laps wind down. He's in a position right now inside the top 10 that he can go up there and gain some more points and put himself in that top 4 ahead of Ben Rhodes.
Remember, if we have 3 winners in this second round that are all championship contenders, that still means one person will get in on points. So the points are critical as we look ahead to our final 4 in that championship race at Homestead Miami Speedway in a few weeks.
Yeah, we know that one guy's going to point his way in, and who's it going to be? Will we have 3 winners that win their way in, and 1-point guy, or 2 winners and 2? About to be decided here over these next 3 races.
This is my favorite time of the year, man. This is playoff NASCAR, and we're going to some of my favorite racetracks, starting right here at Martinsville.
Matt Crafton and Noah Gregson on the front row as the green waves, and we're racing once again at Martinsville.
A couple veterans of Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter, and a couple kids in between them, Noah Gregson and Harrison Burton.
Followed by Todd Gillen, and then the dirt racer from Canada, Stuart Friesen, battling in that top 10.
Johnny Sauter desperately would like to get in between maybe those 2 youngsters for KBM. Does he have it? He does have that spot.
Wow, what a move. There's no spotter that can clear you for that. That's just experience.
That's feel.
You're exactly right, and he took that spot away, and that could be what propelled him up there to battle for this win.
Christopher Bell and Ty Dillon inside the top 10, bumping and banging back there. Ben Rhodes took a little paint off the 33.
Just make a note, Bell into the top 10.
How about Landon Huffman, the great run he has going with that 83 truck, running just outside the top 10.
Good look from the bumper of Austin Cindric. The 87 is Ty Dillon.
Austin's wearing that bumper cam out there.
It's lasted longer than I thought it was going to last. I thought that thing would be done early.
Back in 13th, the 86 of Mason Diaz. He's still hanging in there up on the high side in the silver truck. See Justin Haley, the 98 of Grant Enfinger. All these guys racing for a spot inside the top 10 that Christopher Bell grabbed on the last lap.
Yeah, Mason Diaz in that 13th spot there in that silver 86. His first ever Truck Series race. He's a Virginia native, just 17 years old. What a special day this must be for him and his family.
Looks like he needs to sit on a phone book in there. He's really low.
Grant Enfinger, the 98 truck, grabs that spot from Mason Diaz.
There you see Diaz down in there blocking, making sure he takes that line away. He looks like an experienced veteran out there racing that truck.
Justin Haley trying to get to the inside of 83 of Landon Huffman. Johnny Sauter settles in here to the 3rd spot, right behind the 18 of Noah Gregson.
Remember earlier in this race, Sauter was following Matt Crafton and moved Crafton out of the way for the lead. If he can get past Gregson, we might see a repeat of that before the end of this race is over with 50 to go, Alan.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter came on the radio and said, if I put pressure on these young kids, I will get them. He is up to 3rd with Noah Gregson right in front of him. Gregson, meanwhile, is getting a lot of coaching on the radio, a lot of it from team owner Kyle Busch, who knows something about Martinsville Speedway. Kyle Busch telling him to take care of those right rear tires, run your own pace. But also at the same time, he's saying, if you can go get that 88, go up there and pass him. So I don't know what Noah Gregson, which part he'll listen to, but he's trying to go up there and get his first career win.
And he's got one of the best in the Truck Series ever in front of him and one of the best behind him. So if you're in that position, you're going to learn a great deal. And Hermie, the 51 of Harrison Burton, this is a great day for that young man as well.
Yeah, Michael, as you guys mentioned, seems like a seasoned veteran. Only his 7th start in this series. His career best finish so far, 11th, doing much better than that today. Crew Chief Mike Hillman has been very impressed with Harrison this entire weekend. I talked to Harrison before the race. I said, what are you most excited about? He said, the fact that I'm racing for the first time ever against my cousin, Jeb Burton. Hoping for good runs for both of them, but right now, Harrison in the top 5 in the middle of these championship contenders.
And Jeb running back in the 19th spot. On board with Christopher Bell. Looks like a left rear tire rub on that 27 of Ben Rhodes, another one of our championship contenders.
You can see some contact there. He's got his fender bent.
All the letters have been worn off that Goodyear tire.
When you're battling for a championship, that's just so hard to put out of your mind. The spotter, the crew chief, they understand that rub could eventually rub a hole in that tire and you'll crash.
A lot of damage to that 27 already. There's Sauter continuing to heat up that back bumper of the 88 or the 18 of Gregson, hoping to get to the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Well, if he gets around Gregson, I can promise you, Vince, he will get to the back bumper of Matt Crafton. This has been the fastest truck all weekend. Talked about in the opening how he probably is the favorite to win today. What is he doing right now, Phil? You think he's just being patient, knowing that at every lap that goes by, his truck just seems to get better and better? Heck, he won the first stage by what, 2 seconds? So he understands what he's got under him, and he knows that he's got time to be patient.
And we saw that patience too. How many laps did he follow Matt Crafton before he started to try to nudge him out of the way? Finally got that lead away from Matt Crafton, won that second stage. I think right now he wants to see if maybe Noah Gregson will make a mistake in his zone before he has to use that bumper.
He did a hell of a job. I think he knew that could be the end right there if he got stuck on the top and lost 3. Yeah, those kids aren't going to, they just lifted, let him in. Need this 18 to be good for a while here.
Matt Crafton talking to him earlier today. He told me, I knew I just needed to get through Talladega, the last race, because he said if I could make it past that, I knew we had a great shot to win at any of the racetracks in this round. Martinsville, he said, is one of his absolute favorites, says it just puts so much in the driver's hands. But they were a little bit worried about Johnny Sauter. Just talking to crew chief Junior Joyner, he said, I think he might be a little bit better than us. We need him to stay behind that 18, guys.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting radio we heard there from Junior Joyner, the crew chief, saying we need that 18 to be good for a while. Don't let Johnny Sauter get past the 18 and come get us. 40 to go at Martinsville. Matt Crafton continues to lead. Can he hold off the pack?
We've been dominating week in and week out.
Christopher Bell, and he closes the door with a dominating performance.
The best thing about my position is that I'm in one to win.
Oh, there it goes.
Everything seems to be coming together at the right time. We've got momentum now. Now we just have to keep it. After winning it all last year, we know we have a target on our back.
Johnny Sauter with his first ever NASCAR championship.
For those who know what they're really building, always unstoppable.
Check this out, bro. What's that, Brohim? I switched to Geico and got more. More savings on car insurance? Yeah, Professor, and more. Like renter's insurance. More ways to save. Nice, Brotato Chip. That's not all Protein Shake. Geico has motorcycle and RV insurance, too. Ooh, that's a lot more. Oh, yeah. I'm all about more Teddy Roosevelt.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Welcome to beautiful Phoenix Raceway. We're just moments from the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. But all eyes are on one man, the people's champion, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
A heck of a finish. Take a bow. You deserve it, buddy.
Guarantee your seats now at PhoenixRaceway.com.
Sunday on Fox, the NFL's greatest rivalry is renewed.
Hey, put your hard hat on. It's gonna be a lot, man. We ready, dog.
Where every team is a rivalry and every game is a fight for survival. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys.
What a throw! What a catch!
Kirk Cousins and the Redskins.
End zone touchdown!
It's America's game of the week. Cowboys Redskins, Sunday at 4 on Fox.
After winning it all last year, we know we have a target on our back.
Johnny Sauter with his first ever NASCAR championship. "32 laps to go for Matt Crafton as he tries to win here at Martinsville for the third time and clinch a spot in the Final Four in the championship race at Homestead Miami Speedway. Meanwhile, Johnny Sauter continues to work on that 18 of Noah Gregson. Get the feeling he's faster than Gregson, just can't get past him.
That's definitely the case, but you don't know how much patience Johnny's using right now. I think he knows he's probably the fastest truck on the track. Needs to probably pick up the pace here. He spent a lot of time behind the 18 truck.
He needs to have a little bit of time to go chase down and work over Matt Crafton. So I don't see Johnny following this 18 truck for long without forcing the issue a little bit.
How about Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter? Their average age is 40. The other three in the top 5, average age of 17. Do we have a great series here? Watching the veterans tussle with these kids just coming into NASCAR.
Here's how our playoff leaderboard looks there at the top of the screen. Cindric and Nemechek below the cut line right now as we run this first of 3 races here in round 2.
That might have been the first of many bumps from the front of the 21 to the back of the 18.
That was like he just beeped his horn. You know, just a little beep there. I'm here, and I'm going to.
A little toot.
Right. He might really get on it here in a minute.
Alan Cavana.
Yeah, it's funny hearing the back and forth on the radio. They're telling Noah Gregson in the 18, if you don't screw up, he's not going to get you. And then on the 21 radio, they're encouraging Johnny, saying, he's going to screw up. He's going to screw up. Get after it. So you're seeing the battle play out right now.
Gregson looking out the rearview mirror or the front windshield?
Definitely both. I mean, he has to check on on Johnny Sauter, but it really wouldn't do him much good to spend a lot of time in that rearview mirror, Phil. But for a kid like that, it's probably easier said than done. He wants to know what that cat behind him is doing, but he's been able to pull away from Sauter a bit over the last few laps. You can see that as they fight through this traffic. This is the 19 of Cindric.
Take a look at our 4 track facts and our winners at Martinsville that have piloted the Ford, most recently Joey Logano a couple of years ago. Here's Jeb Burton with a problem bringing it to pit lane.
Must have broken transmission. A lot of smoke.
Frustrating for Burton, and that's right in front of the leader. Matt Crafton probably made Crafton's heart skip a beat.
Wow. Very fortunate there that Jeb was able to pull that truck out of the way.
Christopher Bell trying to make up some ground. He finally got around the 87 of Ty Dillon.
Really hasn't gone anywhere. He's over 2 seconds behind the 27 of Ben Rhodes. He's really been trying to hold off that 87 of Ty Dillon.
Just inside the top 10. Remember, Bell was leading this race when he got spun after some contact with Matt Crafton.
See, Christopher's running a little bit higher line now than almost anybody is. He's opened up in that bottom for Ty Dillon.
Dillon's going to take it, trying to anyway. Bell holds him off.
He gets a good run off the corner from that high line.
Dillon sticking it in there. Can he make it? No.
This is as racy as this track's been, man. That 2 grooves down in the corner, watch them race like that. That is awesome.
If Ty can just get enough momentum up off the corner to keep that nose there, I think he would make the pass on Christopher. Christopher's doing a great job, not making any mistakes, running that high line and getting that good run. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Johnny's trying to get inside.
I think Sauter's patience has run its course.
Well, he looks out the windshield, Vince, and he sees that bright yellow 88 truck of Matt Crafton gapping this battle for second.
Camping World 20 to go at Martinsville with Matt Crafton out front, Noah Gregson in second, and Johnny Sauter about to run out of patience.
He sees Crafton a half a straightaway ahead of this battle right here. And Johnny, with 20 laps to go, he needs some time to chase that 88 down.
Crafton glances in his mirror every straightaway and sees the black truck instead of the white one and makes him feel a little bit more comfortable.
There's that tap from Sauter to Gregson, trying to move Gregson out of the way, but Gregson hung on enough to stay in front of Sauter for second.
Great recovery by Gregson there after that bump.
This is some great driving by Gregson, just being able to keep that truck right where it needs to be in the corners, fighting off those bumps. Alan, we got a caution down in turn 2. Around goes the 50 truck.
That's going to be huge for Johnny Sauter. He will be able to restart on the inside in the second row.
Bailey Curry making his Truck Series debut. You know, and that's just how it works out. As you said, going to be able to start on the inside is Johnny Sauter. Better position than starting on the outside. So if he would have passed for second, now Sauter would have found himself starting on the outside. But because he wasn't able to pass, he's going to get the preferred position on the inside lane.
You know, that's funny. Michael and I were talking about that during one of our commercial breaks. Is Johnny trying to stay there, thinking we're going to get another caution so we can restart third? And maybe he was, but then the sense of urgency ramped up when we got inside 25 down to 20 laps to go. He said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to do it now.
The 92 of Regan Smith getting the free pass with this caution. Well, we're going to have us a shootout once they get this thing cleaned up, because the laps are going to go by real quickly to get us to the finish.
This is good stuff.
Let's watch what happened here with the 50 of Bailey Curry.
He made a little bit of contact with the 45.
Jeffrey Abbey was up high, and when Bailey got there, I think he tried to stay off of Abbey and just had the wheels cut too much and spun around.
It's going to be exciting to the finish. It's the way it always seems to be at Martinsville. Under caution because of the contact to the 50 of Bailey Curry going around. Matt Crafton, a 14-time winner in his Truck Series career, most recently victorious at Eldora, won on the dirt, snapping a 27 race winless streak. And what a great night that was for Matt. He was so enjoyed getting that golden shovel as the trophy to win at Eldora. Winning on the dirt, different than winning. You know, we expect Matt Crafton to win, but I got to say I was a little surprised on that particular night that he won on the dirt.
We've been doing so much dirt racing this year. He wanted to get better on the dirt, and he has a blast on it.
And then here we are at Martinsville, the playoff race. This is a big day for Crafton. They've not had the season anyone expected. The win at Eldora was the high point of the season. They've been able to race through the playoffs, but just not the performance that we're used to seeing out of Crafton and his great crew chief, Junior Joyner, but they're in position to make a big win here.
Yeah, that win at Eldora secured his spot into the playoffs, and now he's trying to hold on and win again here today to assure his spot in the final four of the playoffs. Speaking of the four, Hermie?
Well, Vince, the four of Christopher Bell has struggled a little bit to get back to the front and get a good finish and have a chance to win this race. But crew chief Rudy Fugel has now turned into a cheerleader. He told Christopher Bell, listen, this was our last set of tires. It was not our best set, the way they matched up with our setup. We were not anticipating even having to use this set of tires, but the spin put us in this position. Use what you can do on these restarts, whatever you have to do, and get all you can get on these final restarts. They believe this will not be the final restart, and they want Christopher to get really aggressive on these final couple restarts.
Of course, Kyle Busch Motorsports. Here's a look at Kyle right there, the owner of not just the Christopher Bell machine in that number 4, but also the 18 of Noah Gragson, which will start or be on the outside during this restart. Is run a terrific race, second place, but he's in an unenviable position, I think, starting on the outside of this restart.
Did a really good job there, man. He rolls the center just a tick better, but you beat him on exit. So as long as you don't make any mistakes, we'll outrun him, and we're going to be better than that 88. So just focus out front, we'll be just fine. We're going to be about 10 laps when we go back to green.
Fight hard as you can on the top. Whatever you got to do, bud. Go win this thing.
That's crew chief Marcus Richmond, a 2-time winner here as a crew chief at Martinsville.
Don't make any mistakes. It sounds easy. Just, you know.
How about that?
Interesting directive.
Johnny Sauter is able to cool off his tires. I think that Gregson had actually been able to put a little speed on Sauter there and drove away from him, and now the conditions have changed. The tires will feel differently. It'll be interesting to see what Sauter can do down on the bottom behind Crafton.
Take a look at our race summary. 5 different leaders. Matt Crafton won stage 1, Johnny Sauter won stage 2, and it just may well come down to those two to win this race. Who do you like?
I tell you, I like Matt Crafton's position out front, but he's got Johnny Sauter right behind him. We saw what happened early in the race, but we're going to restart with 10 to go.
I'm going to take Sauter from the second row with 10 to go to win this race.
You're going to have to move me out of the way with your bumper if you're going to do it.
I've done it once. I'm going to do it again if I have to.
And with Crafton and Sauter, they could end up beating and banging and open the door for somebody like a teenager, Noah Gregson or Harrison Burton, Todd Gilliland. 3 teenagers in the top 5.
That is so cool, and those teenagers are hungry.
Crafton on the inside, Noah Gregson on the outside. When they take the green, there will be 10 to go.
Can Johnny Sauter grab that second spot on this start?
We saw the momentum they were able to gain on the outside. Can Noah Gregson grab the lead from the top?
How about Noah Gregson? Can he get down in front of Crafton for the lead?
He did it! He's gonna do it! He did
it! What a restart for Noah Gregson. Gregson looking for his first career win in the Truck Series.
That was impressive.
And he beat the 2-time series champ on the restart to get the lead.
Talked about that's when you can make time on the outside of the racetrack right after a restart. How about his truck owner Kyle Busch there?
Stuart Frieson's going to try to do what Gregson did up on the high side against Todd Gilliland. You see Johnny Sauter, he's got his sights on Matt Crafton. Look at Kyle cheering them on. Let's go, boys.
Don't overdrive it.
And with Gregson potentially winning this race, that's big for some of those other teams that are trying to battle Matt Crafton in the championship, because that means Crafton doesn't clinch a spot in the Final Four at Homestead, Miami.
That means at least 2 guys will point their way in.
If
to Homestead.
If it finishes like this.
Long way to go here with 6 laps.
There's the bumper.
Johnny Sauter working on Matt Crafton for second. That's Harrison Burton behind them in 4th. Todd Gilliland 5th. 3 KBM machines in the top 5.
I'm not sure there's enough time if Johnny Sauter were to get by Matt Crafton to chase down Noah Gregson.
Less than 5 to go, and look at Gregson stretching it out on Crafton.
I think is youth being served here today?
Well, that was an impressive restart. We saw Noah Gregson, after a rough start to the season, come here in the spring and run in the top 5. So he likes this track, and he is gone.
Harrison Burton's heating up Johnny Sauter for the 3rd spot.
3 to go for Noah Gregson. So much during the course of this race talked about those drivers that were battling for the championship, and he said this is a place where you might just get somebody come up and play the role of spoiler, and it looks like it's going to be the 18 of Noah Gregson if it stays green. 2 to go.
It's asking a lot, though, for us to stay green for 2 more laps.
While the others, like a Crafton or a Sauter, would love to see a yellow right now, Gregson is just praying that it stays green.
Just needs to get to the start-finish line to take that white flag.
And he did it.
The white flag for Noah Gregson.
What a special day for that young man. Be able to come in here and beat 2 champions on the last restart and put himself, if he makes it off turn 4, in victory lane.
Historic racetrack, providing a first-time winner once again. Noah Gregson, the teenager from Las Vegas, wins at Martinsville.
Yeah, guys! Let's go, Corner! I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, guys. That's awesome.
See Matt Crafton pulling up. Classy move to congratulate him.
We just gotta go short track racing.
Noah Gregson, the 10th.
Awesome job, big crew. Thank you.
The 10th first-time winner at Martinsville, and you heard his crew chief, Marcus Richmond. His first year at Kyle Busch Motorsports, and he and Noah Gregson, they missed the playoffs, and they felt like they were a team capable of challenging for a championship, and they were so disappointed that they didn't make the playoffs. And I think what they have done here today shows they are every bit the team that will end up winning the championship later this year.
Remember when we interviewed him after the race race in Canada. He felt like that was his race. He finished second. He was in tears for not winning that race. He might be in tears here today too, but different kind of tears.
Yeah, this has got to be a great feeling. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Well, he's getting to do something very special for the first time here today in Martinsville.
Gregson was second earlier this season in Canada, as Phil mentioned, when they felt like that was really their opportunity to make the playoffs. But this will be a day he will never forget. Noah Gragson, his first career win, and he did it at Martinsville. Thanks, Tim. Well, if that one is nearly as exciting as what we've had here today, it's going to be some kind of game between K-State and Kansas. How about Noah Gragson getting his first career win, celebrating with a little fence climb, and hey, that's what young kids do. They show how strong they are. Matt Crafton finished second. He's with Caitlin.
Yeah, his fifth top 5 performance, Vince, so far this year. Matt, anything you would have done differently looking back there on that last restart?
Pick the outside. That really sucks, but the bottom rubber's up so bad, and the top doesn't have the rubber on it. And then we would pick it up and get it on our tires, and it was on the outside at the very beginning of the race, and it worked pretty good. And I'm thinking to myself, I got tight in the middle throughout that run right there at the end, and I'm like, if he can roll up top, I'm going to be in trouble. But it would have been absolutely crazy to think that I'm going to pick the outside of Martinsville with 10 to go, but I had to go to the bottom, and it just didn't work out today.
Thank you. Matt Crafton, the runner-up here at Martinsville. Hermie.
Well, Caitlin got Johnny Sauter. When your truck was out front, you were the dominant truck, got back in traffic. What was the issue with the truck that you fought coming down the stretch?
Well, I mean, you just can't give up track position, obviously. Our ISM Connect Chevy was good. Joe and all the guys at GMS did a great job. We just, anymore it's so competitive, you can't give up anything. It's not like, years ago I could come here and lose 15 spots and get back up there, but it's just, everybody's so tight now. So you get out in clean air, it's crazy how much better your stuff is. So all in all, good effort. We just missed a little bit there, and whatever, we got good racetracks coming up. We'll get it going.
It's Johnny Sauter. He's third, Vince.
Well, Johnny's talking about giving up spots, and he's referring to that pit stop where they gave up a handful. They came in first, and they went out 7th. Victory Lane, the celebration for Noah Gragson.
The young rookie from Las Vegas getting out of the truck. He's going to celebrate this one big time. This is after he already climbed the fence. Oh, what a mess down here in Victory Lane. A long time coming for this young man. A lot of close calls. Noah Gragson, you told me before the race you were comfortable on the outside. Did you know you could get past Matt Crafton on that final restart?
And it's really tough racing against these veterans. Those last 40 laps with Johnny Sauter beating off my back bumper. He did that earlier to us in the spring, and I wasn't going to let him pass me again like that. So we got that caution there at the end, and you can't pass on the outside of Martinsville, and I did it.
How did you do it? How are you good on the outside like that?
Just all the hard work. I've had the monkey on my back this whole year. I've been asked pretty much every day, when are you going to get that win? When are we going to put up a banner at Kyle Busch Motorsports? And just thankful for everyone, Dustin Ash, Jefferson Pitts Racing, Jim O'Hanley, everyone who's brought me up through the ranks. Racing, I'm so very thankful. Thank you to Switch, Mobile Strike, TRD, Kyle, Samantha Bush, everyone at NASCAR, Texas Roadhouse. I had my right helmet on today. I was super comfy, and man, I'm blown away. We're going to get a banner up at KBM. We're taking home the Granddaddy Watch, or whatever they call it. My crew chief, he likes to call it the Granddaddy Watch or Granddaddy Clock. So we're taking it home. Thank you, Marcus Richmond. Thank you to all these guys out behind me. It's huge.
Congratulations on victory number 1. Noah Gragson is a winner in the Camping World Truck Series.
I don't think he's putting that clock on his wrist.
The Granddaddy Watch.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. That's the grandfather clock. They've been giving his trophy away since 1964. That's what happens when you're 18 years old, right?
I was really impressed with that last restart, but the job that young man did holding off Johnny Sauter for 30, 40 laps, Johnny all over him, didn't slip a wheel. His crew chief team said, don't make a mistake. Well, heck, he's going to knock me into a mistake, but he didn't let it happen, put himself in a position to win the race.
He doesn't win the race if Johnny Sauter gets by him and he has to restart third. No way to win the race.
We thought Sauter was in really the most enviable position by being in third place and starting on the inside, but it was actually Gragson who got it done on the outside. But maybe this is the save of the race, because Sauter was trying to get by Gregson. He gave him a good bump, but Noah was able to hold on to that position, and because he held on right there, he was able to start that restart where he did to set himself up for the pass for the win.
We heard Johnny gas it up, so that means when Noah was sideways, he was already getting back to the gas, and that thing stuck because he was able to hold him off down the straightaway.
Christopher Bell came in as our championship leader. He finished 8th today, Caitlin.
Yeah, top 10 effort for him. Bouncing back, contact with the 88 while you were leading. What happened from your vantage point there?
We were on 2 tires, and I was struggling at that point, and yeah, I don't know, it was so slight contact, but I was struggling at that point, just trying to hang on, and once the 88 got there, I was really going to try and let him go there and get back in line. I knew I didn't have a truck that could win, but I don't know, I'm sure it wasn't on purpose there, but overall it was a good day for us, and we salvaged some points out of the day because we really didn't have the truck that we needed to go up there and compete for a win, so we got the next best thing. Our JBL Tundra was really strong throughout the second stage, and I was able to move forward and get some good points there, and then to finish 8th and see my teammate get a win. That was really big for him, and really cool to see that.
Thank you. Christopher Bell getting his 18th top 10 performance so far this year, guys.
Well, on the playoff leaderboard after one race here in round 2, looks like this. Christopher Bell, Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, Ben Rhodes all above the cut line. And speaking of Ben Rhodes, he's with Hermie.
Well, Ben, you see it already, plus 11 on the cut line. Not good enough to sleep well at night yet. Early on, your truck was really, really fast up front, battling for the top 3 spots. You ended up 9th. What happened?
Yeah, you know, we definitely had a fast, safe like Tundra today. I feel like it was a top 5 truck. I feel like we got ourselves a little bit behind on that pit strategy. We came in, we thought some of the other trucks were going to come in, and nobody came in. So we went to the back, and new tires just didn't mean anything today. And we saw it time and time again, guys with new tires just couldn't come through the field. And I feel like that was our mistake today. But then after we got going, we got bounced around like a pinball out there. It's Martinsville. And gosh, I'm glad I come here with my teammates and all my friends on my team, because it's just such a wild race. And I feel like it actually broke some stuff on our truck. It actually stopped traveling going into the corners, and I could put my splitter on top of the curb going around the corner. So just a crazy day, but all in all, just happy we survived.
That's Ben Rhodes, Vince.
Thank you, Hermie. Well, while Noah Gregson puts on that winner sticker, remind you that our next race broadcast, race number 2 of round 2, coming your way next Friday night from Texas Motor Speedway. And we're not done yet for the rest of this weekend. More racing coming your way. Cup race.